Hello everyone. So today we are going to learn about decomposition reaction. Now what is decomposition reaction? So decomposition reaction is when single reactant breaks down to give simple products. It means that if there is a product which is A and it is a complex product, or we can say a complex reactant. Why this is reactant? Because it will go into a reaction, and after going for a reaction it will produce two another substances or products. So A is a complex reactant, or we can say a complex substance. A is complex reactant or complex substance, and after going through a reaction it will produce two simple products or simple substances. That will be B or C. Okay, so if you are using word reactant here, then you have to use word product here, and if you are using substance here, you can use substances here. So the reactant is always a single substance. Okay, it will be always a single substance, and the products can be 2, 3, 4, so many products, or the broken substance will change into 2, 3, 4 or many substances or products. Let's take an example. So now H2O is a complex. It is according to our view it is not so complex, but you can feel the complexness after completing the reaction. So H2 is going into reaction. We can consider it A. It is complex, and after reaction it will convert into, everyone knows, H2 and O. So we can say that H2 is more simpler than H2O, and H2 is more simpler than H2O, and O is more simpler than H2O. So this is complex reactant which will produce simple products 2, 3, 4 or more, and H2O is a single substance. It is single one. We know that H2O is single substance, and it will break into two simple substances. So here we have to use one, and here we can use 2, 3, 4, depending upon the reaction. There are more reactions. We can take as example. If we are going to break, let's suppose this one. So this one, okay, this is known as limestone calcium carbonate, and after breaking or after decomposition, breaking, so there are so many types of chemical reaction, and right now we are particularly studying about decomposition reaction, when substances, complex substances, breaks down. This is complex, this is, we can say, reactant because it is going into reaction, or we can say it is a single substance, and it will form CaO, that is a solid, and CO2, carbon dioxide, that is a gas. So you can see that a single complex reactant is breaking into two or more. There is two, but it could be more than two. So this reactant is breaking down into two simple products. So calcium oxide is simpler than calcium carbonate, and carbon dioxide, again we can say, is very, very, very simpler than calcium carbonate. You can see the what do we mean by simpler and complex. Complex molecule is having more number of atoms and more types of atom, okay, more number of atoms. More number of atom means there are one calcium and one carbon and three oxygen, and there are three types of atom, one calcium atom and one carbon atom and one type of oxygen atom. And here only two type of atom and two atom, one atom is of calcium and one atom is of oxygen, and definitely two type means two uh, type of elements. Calcium is different element and oxygen is different element, and here also we can say. So they are simpler, they are product, and substance is forming substances. Okay, so right now we are not going to learn about any grammar, but we have to learn that it will be singular and it will be plural, 2 3 4 or more. So this is clear. We can take another example, that is magnesium oxide, and it is breaking down into magnesium and oxygen. So this is also a type of decomposition reaction. It is complex, it is simple, it is reactant, it is product, it is substance, and they are substances. Two substances are forming. So or we can they are not substances, but two type of atoms are forming. Okay, so they are broken. So there are three types of decomposition reaction basically. First is decomposition can occur by heat, and we can say this is thermal decomposition or breaking down of substance can be occur by providing heat. This is known as thermal decomposition. Electrolysis, in which we will learn about the breaking of a substance or a complex reactant by the help of electricity, and another way is the breaking down of a reactant into its product by the help of sunlight. Okay, so first we will study about heat or thermal decomposition. Now we will decompose ferrous sulfate. This is ferrous sulfate. Ferrous sulfate, as we know that ferrous sulfate is crystalline form. It is in crystalline form. It looks like crystal, and generally ferrous sulfate is not available in isolated form. With ferrous sulfate there is a presence of one molecule of ferrous sulfate contain 7 molecules of water with itself. Okay, so if any substance contain water with itself, it will found in crystal form, and this water which helps to maintain crystal form or crystal appearance, this 7 molecules of water with 1 molecule of ferrous sulfate helps to maintain the crystalline appearance of ferrous sulfate. So this bounded water, this water is bounded. I'm not writing like this. Okay, I'm not writing like this, I'm not writing plus between them, because the water is actually with FeSO4. It is not going to form any reactant or product, or it means that they are not isolatory. Okay, they are not going to react with each other, they are already reacted with each other. Generally what we write something like you know, we can write CaO plus CO2, or we can write CaO plus H2O. It means that this thing is going to react with this, and this thing is going to react with this. But here we are writing this dot, or sometimes we can use the sign of a star. So it means that water is not going to react with ferrous sulfate, it is already reacted, and now they are common, they are together. So the water which helps ferrous sulfate to make crystalline appearance is known as water of crystallization. So So now you can answer that what is water crystallization. This question can be asked that what is water of crystallization. So water of crystallization is water which is present with any substance and helps it to provide water like appearance. So on heating, now we will enter into a reaction and we will heat this ferrous sulfate, or we will heat this, and by heating we will decompose it. We will decompose it by heating, and that's why we are learning about thermal decomposition. So we will use heat and we will break down this ferrous sulfate from this water, molecules of water, 7 molecules of water. So first of all, this is the real appearance of ferrous sulfate with water. Okay, so this is crystalline ferrous sulfate. And one more point I want to mention, this is very important question and can be asked in board exams, that what is green vitriol. So this ferrous sulfate is green vitriol, but it is green vitriol when it is crystalline, when it is with water. When ferrous sulfate is present with water, 7 molecules of water, this is also important. How many molecules of water are present? 7 molecules of water are present with ferrous sulfate. Only then this time it is known as green vitriol, or it is present in crystalline form. So ferrous sulfate looks like with water, okay, crystalline ferrous sulfate or green vitriol with water looks like this. After heating, we are heating it because we want to decompose it, and by decomposition we are getting, first of all, when we decompose it, the water will remove. Okay, at the first step, when we will decompose crystalline ferrous sulfate, the water will evaporate. Okay, so from the green vitriol or hydrated ferrous sulfate, because it is having water, so we can say that it is hydrated. So when we heat this green vitriol, it will evaporate all the water and the water will come out, or it will evaporate all molecules of water, and now it will remain only as ferrous sulfate, and the ferrous sulfate is white in color. Okay, it is white because water is removed. So this is decomposition, because water is removed, it is decomposed. Now water is separated and ferrous sulfate is again separated. Now our book is showing, NCERT book is showing this reaction. Okay, it is not indicating that how ferrous sulfate became ferrous sulfate hemihydrate became ferrous sulfate. Okay, so first we will remove water, and after that we will heat ferrous sulfate again. This is white in color and solid in nature, and after heating this ferrous sulfate we will get ferric oxide. Okay, so again now our reaction is from here. Okay, heat FeSO4 with water, heat it and we will get FeSO4, again heat it and we will get Fe2O3, that is ferric oxide. This is solid form. There are so many questions you can see so many questions in previous paper, and this questions was asked so many times that which state is present after heating of ferrous sulfate, or the state of ferric oxide, or state of ferrous sulfate hydrated, or ferrous sulfate anhydrated. We can say anhydrated because water is removed. So you have to learn each and every point specifically about the state. State means which substance is solid, which is gas, which is liquid. Okay, it will also form SO2, which is sulfur dioxide, and with these two products it is also forming SO3, which is sulfur trioxide. Okay, so this is finally our reaction. Ferrous sulfate, which is solid, which is white in color, and when we heat this it will form ferric oxide, that it is red in color. And this is very specific question, that which color will form and which state will form. So sulfur dioxide is gas and sulfur dioxide is also a gas. So these three products or substances will come out from this one. So this is reactant because it is going into reaction, and it is also known as substance. Okay, substance singular and here plural. So this is the complete reaction. So we can write complete reaction: FeSO4 plus H2O. This is hemihydrate. This is also known as this water is known as water of crystallization, and this is hemihydrate because it is having water. It is also known as green vitriol. After heating it will form this one. After again heating, this is also a decomposition reaction, and after this it will form ferric oxide, which is red in color, and solid state this one and this one. So you can identify ferric oxide by its red color. It is red in color, you can see, and these two gases have their different properties. Let's learn about SO2. Okay, you have to remember, and you have to learn first, and then you have to remember for always the confirmatory test of some gases like oxygen and hydrogen and SO2 and NO2. So you have to remember this confirmatory test. So right now we are learning about confirmatory test of two gases. How can you tell that this gas is present and that gas is present? So for SO2, sulfur dioxide, when we do this experiment like this, okay, we are taking a test tube and putting FeSO4, or you can use FeSO4 plus H2O, whatever you want, and after this reaction will come out. Now there are some cautions that don't put your mouth very close to test tube. You know why? So because there are so many carcinogenic and toxic substances which can be formed. We are not very sure about for a random reaction that which products are going to form, and sometimes we are very aware of this, but in this condition SO2 and SO3 are kind of toxic gases and not good for us, so we have to keep away our face. Okay, so here the Fe2O3 will remain here because it is a solid, and two gases will come out, that is SO2 and SO3. Now confirmatory test for SO2. This is sulfur dioxide. It is colorless, it is non-flammable and suffocating odor. Okay, suffocating. So something like when you burn a matchstick and how it feels, it is like this. Okay, so always keep your face away from test tubes. And SO3 is generally a colorless liquid. It is a liquid generally, but when it exposed to air, it gives off white fumes. Okay, so you can find three products after this reaction. The breakdown of FeSO4.7H2O, that is ferrous sulfate hydrated, hemihydrated because water is present inside.